Okay, we're gonna do a mic test. I see the mics coming through, so we are ready for liftoff. Let's hop into game here. Welcome to Friday Night Frontline. Oh man, I am excited today. We have so much gambling to do. We got new characters. We got the new 50-50 system where you get to we're gonna go over it in a minute. I won't talk about it. So, got a lot of gambling to do. Then I'm fairly confident. Well, I know for a fact we're gonna have at least one or two characters to build. So I'm gonna be leveling some characters tonight after that, and then I don't know. Maybe I'll throw them at. There's not really any challenge content right now. No challenge stages open for the limited time event, but maybe we'll just do the supply missions if we got a few minutes at the end there. But whew, I am excited. How is it going, Jay? Welcome to Friday Night Frontline with everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I got my Monster Energy drink here. Let's go. I am all set, dude. I'm so hyped. I'll pour this guy in a cup here. Yeah, it took a not zero amount of self-control to wait till today to do all this gambling. We got a lot of collapse pieces and a lot of standard tickets. The unfortunate problem with this is I'm not super hyped at Dush and Standard. So we're probably going to throw one 50-50 at her. And then we're going to see how it goes. We'll see how it goes from there. If we get an early 50-50 or an early 5-star, I might adjust the plans from there. The issue is, why do they do this to me every time? So the 4 stars are Krolik and Latara. But on Sumi's is Nemesis, and I still to this day do not have 5-star Nemesis, or not 5-star, but segment 6 Nemesis. So I'm really tempted to. I think that's what we're gonna do actually, because I'm a big Nemesis simp. So we're gonna probably throw. Where are we at on the? I think I'm right in. Yeah. Okay. So last one was Diane, and we're what 3, 6. 9. Oh, we're 9 in, so yeah. Jay's my personal. He's cheering me on here. We're gonna get Dush. Yeah, I hope so. So if we get, there's a good side and bad side. If I do get Deshevia, I'm kind of oath-bound to start doing guides and videos on her. So it's I'm partially kind of lazy about it. I'm oh man, if I don't get the character, that'd be a good excuse not to do any preview videos or 5-minute guides or anything like that. I'm not crazy about her design. I liked her designing the GFL1 KSVK and her mod 3 design, and I'm not super crazy about what they did with her here. It's a lot of weird what is this hat? Just I don't know what's going on with this hat, but and mostly her skills are kind of weird too. I'm trying to figure out where she fits it. She's clearly meant to be a frost or freeze damage support unit, right? Her passive here straight is 10% to all damage and then 10% more to freeze. And then a lot of her skills have to do with doing frost damage and buffing other frost units. So she's clearly meant to go on a frost team with Macchiato and Sumi. But it's just the amount that she contributes to buffing those units is not much, right? You saw it was 10% freeze, and then maybe another 10% here or there. I think I added it all up to be about 30%. So it's not huge, right? Because Macchiato is the only one of those 2 units that actually does damage. So, but anyway, we're gonna throw some gambling, but like I said, we got a lot of standard banner stuff to go through too. So the plan is let's throw 20 here, just so I can fulfill my fantasy of maybe getting some Nemesis dupes. And I'm not going to skip this for cinematic purposes. Oh, look at that. Thank you, Jesus. And the Lord said upon to his people, ask and ye shall receive. Vibe check. See, I'm more excited about that than getting a 5-star. I don't know if I should push my luck and do it again, though. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, this is why we gamble in video games, because it's just so much... It's so much less, like, high stakes than in real life. So, although I have really good luck every time I've gone to Vegas, so I gotta knock on wood here. Both times I've gone to Vegas, I ended up winning more money than I started with, so that's good. But I don't want to push that. I don't want to push that envelope. So, but as far as this goes, that's why it's fun to gamble in video games, because, well, if you're free to play, it doesn't cost you anything. Oh, Jesus. Oh my gosh. Truly, I am blessed today. This is ironic, because ever since I started streaming, my luck for gambling has been just infinitely better. I've complained about it in the past, but like my luck in gambling for other games, even in the closed beta of this game, was just abysmal. But then the game came out, and I've started gambling, and my luck in this game and in other gambling games has just gone whoop through the roof. So I make it look easy, but sometimes it is not easy. So anybody who watches this video and is free to play and is like, oh my god, this guy's so fucking lucky, he gets the characters he wants, he gets the 5 stars within like 30 pulls. I was like you. I am a mortal man underneath the skin, deep down inside. So, okay, well, we did mission accomplished. So now we're going back over to Dush here. So we're gonna keep going till we hit a 50-50, and we'll see what happens. And if we, you know, like I said, the more I talk about it, the more I have so many collapse pieces saved up. I'm tempted to just continue to pull until I get her, even if I miss the 50-50. Better Nagant, another good character, which I have not appreciated. I think part of the reason I've kind of like, here, I don't want to get off on a tangent here, because you lit me, I will sit and yap all night long. But there's a couple characters I haven't had a chance to really use. Nagant, Ksenia. I used Ksenia a lot during the closed beta, and she's pretty decent. I'm not a huge fan of the way she heals, but everything else about her is really good. She got a lot of cool buffs, and her fire element damage is actually pretty decent. Sharkery I didn't have a chance to. Lada I didn't have a chance to really utilize. Same with Cheetah. These are not bad units. I just really haven't had like, I sped through the end of the game, and then because of the way they've been releasing content, I really haven't had a reason to go back and use those units yet. They just keep getting pushed back. Like every time, like, okay, cool, now I'll level some of these less popular units and kind of try them out. You know, we got a new banner or something else. So let's continue on our quest here. What are we at? Got 41 to go, so that is unfortunately a wasted weapon, because I have a max rank 50 cal Nemesis. So I think that one's just getting disassembled, but all right, now we're getting towards that. I think this is when, don't quote me, but either this 10 pull or the next 10 pull is when the rate starts slowly going up. So I got her rifle, the 4-star version of it at least. Maybe that's a sign. Another 50 cal. Am I? Okay, yeah, it's just these 2 standard dolls. They don't have any like weapons on the rate up, so I just keep getting the same 50 cal. All right, so either this one or the next one. Oh, here it is, boys. Here it is. Lock in. Mei Ling's like, yas, yas, queen. Hold your breath. Any one of these. And we get a hand clap for that one. Make it look easy. Another feather in the hat. We'll put another tally on the board there for 50-51. They went all out on her intro video there. Like, that was that was impressive. Everybody else is just kind of like in the Elmo, just like in the, I'm assuming that's like the shooting range. Just like, oh, here, let me shoot some invisible dudes or some holograms. And then she's just like, no, bro, let me be doing backflips off of a fucking cooling tower at the power plant. What an intro video. So, okay, well, I guess I have to do some videos now. Darn. Okay, well, please look forward to the KSVK guides. Mostly I'm all excited about these redundant pieces I'm getting. Welcome, Ready, to the stream here, Friday Night Frontline. I don't know if you saw it in time, but yeah, we just literally pulled Dush right now. So mission accomplished. Guides coming out for that near soon. But the fun doesn't stop there. We have so many standard tickets saved up. I was getting super worried because I don't know if it was Jay I was talking to last week in the stream, but yeah, we were saying how they were like not mentioning the patch notes, like about this 50-50 chance thing here coming. And I was getting a little worried. I'm like, man, are they actually gonna include it? Like, you know, the Twitter accounts had mentioned February, but like there was no word on it. And then like literally like the night before, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're adding this. I'm like, yes. So, I mean, a smart man would say Chongju, because surely anybody who's played the game at this point has been just absolutely inundated with Chongju propaganda. I'm going to claim that it's Chinese bots, you know, China #1. They're just trying to, you know, trick you. But she actually is a very good unit. So we're going to put the first 50-50 here on Chongju, and then Britia is going to be our next target, because I might even just use the selector on her, because we're going to get to this tonight too. Yeah, still shocked that they did this before a Chongju Manor. Yeah, they could have actually, right? Like that would have been the 500 IQ strategy to like milk people for their tickets, right? Put like let's say last patch when they had Diane, you could have had like Chongju as like the second banner here. Kind of like, who did they have last one? It was Mosin Nagant. Yeah, instead of having Mosin Nagant, have Chongju on the banner, dude, everybody would have went insane, because the amount of propaganda around this burn team is just like, man, dude, it's crazy. There's so much propaganda, and It's not a bad team. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to short sell it, but I am saying it is overhyped. I think it's a little overhyped. So, but yeah, they could have gotten so many people to spend their premium tickets and their collapse pieces on her, and then just be like, "Well, just kidding, psych. We're gonna put her on the normal one here." So, but they didn't, because, you know, they're nice guys and they want everyone to have fun with their game. Jay says he let his toddler do the pulls. Come on, Jay, you can't have your kids gambling. It's illegal, dude. They're gonna arrest you for that. 18 and older to be in the casino. But he said 190 tickets, got 4 chonchus and the selector in 160 pulls, never lost a 50-50. Jesus Christ. Now that is what... I'm gonna give you a clap for that. Jesus, congratulations on that. Wow. That's crazy. That's some top tier luck right there. 4 50-50s and got the selector. Well, you're good. I mean, all you need is a vector now, and you're kind of stacked. I'm actually having I forgot who's the person that goes in the 4th slot on that team. It's Vector, Changju, Sharkery, and I guess it's Ksenia. Don't quote me on that, though. I'm not really sure who's the 4th slot on that team. Well, I mean, there'll probably be another unit in the future. Oh yeah, what am I saying? The new one that just came out on the China servers. Captain China, what's her name? It was whatever, Type 97S or something. She's the shotgun. I forgot her actual in-game name. It's another very Chinese name, and I'm not very good at pronouncing Chinese names or remembering them, so. But yeah, she's the 4th person on that team, which is back to what I was saying earlier. I said I don't want to keep getting off on these tangents. This is the part that's kind of weird for Dashevia here. She's meant to be on this like all freeze unit team or all frost team, and they're missing the 4th person for that team, really, like a good 4th unit that utilizes her like skills and buffs. And then they're also kind of missing, like, I really don't know if I haven't done the numbers or testing or anything on this, but I don't think she buffs the frost team enough to justify a whole slot in the team. So that's kind of weird, but maybe they'll release another unit for that archetype and make it interesting. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, right? Like, they claim it's like a mono team, a mono fire team, but it doesn't have to be. And it's like the same issue as the frost team, right? Like, instead of just putting another frost unit on there, like, for example, instead of just putting Dashevia in a quote frost team, which right now is really just Sumi and Macchiato, why don't you just put a Changju in there? And like, overall, I think the team's overall damage would be way higher. How do you say your name? Is it Rediclinic? Rediclink? Either way, Ratty says he pulled for V6 or Segment 6 Nemesis and ended up getting a Segment 6 Sumi as well. Well, god damn. I hope you didn't have to pull hundreds and hundreds of pulls to get your Nemesis, but congratulations on that Sumi. That's a stacked Sumi. Oh, I forgot Lada. Duh. Yeah, Wooly says that the 4th person on the free team would be Lada. Yes, you are correct. Lada is a very good AoE unit, especially if you need AoE. I'm you know, I'm hesitant. Radical Link. Cool, Radical Link. Alright, we got a 5-star here, boys, somewhere. Oh, it's Crow-chan. Or Crosha, that's what they call her in the story. Crosha. Crosha Nemnem. Or Nemi. That's their new nicknames. Oh, yeah, boy. Dude, we're winning all the 50-50s today. Oh, man, dude. It's just... Like I said, people are going to watch this and they'll be like, this guy's so lucky. And you're right, I am. Right now, I am very lucky. Whew, that was nice. Well, guys, I finally got a Chongju. My account is no longer bricked after playing for 2 months. I finally can play the game now. I can finally clear story mode. So I'm assuming, let's see here. Yeah, so I guess we just, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm going to switch it to Parithia, and if we get a Parithia, then I'll just use the selector on a Chongju, or maybe I'll just hold on to the selector. I don't know. We're going to switch it over to Parithia, because that's the only character I don't have from this banner, and I really like her design, even if, she kind of doesn't really have a home right now. Cool character. Although I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with this tail, right? Like it's like a mechanical tail, like kind of weird. Not really sure what this is supposed to be. Like, can you just remove this whole thing and she doesn't have a tail anymore? I don't know. I haven't looked too much into the lore of Parithia, so. But okay, let's start gambling. Oh my gosh, another one right off. Jesus Christ, dude. You know, 99% of gamblers quit before they win. This is ridiculous. Oh, thank you. I'm not upset about this in the slightest. Wow. God damn. God damn. The rich get richer. So Jay is saying, yeah, he likes Dush, but she's mainly a unit to make an extra Gunsmoke frontline team. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. She's just kind of in an awkward spot. I don't know, from a gameplay perspective, it's weird because I actually think one of her biggest strengths is her like pseudo AoE ability. What's it called? Marzana's Sanction. This one's actually pretty good for AoE. And it also implants freeze weakness, which is nice too. Because if you do it at max confectance, you get to use this skill twice in a row. So this is like 2 AoE attacks. It's not like the numbers aren't crazy on it, right? The first one's going to hit for 50, the second one's going to hit for 70% on everybody, which comes out to 120% total, which I said isn't crazy because you have units like Vepley, which throw their grenade and do like 120% and then put a damage amp on everybody. So the damage numbers aren't crazy, although it is, you know, frost damage, so she gets all the bonuses. But that's like one of her best uses, like in my opinion. And then obviously Lotta can just absolutely decimate people with AoE. So yeah, and that's weird because Gunsmoke Frontline is a single target boss, so you're not going to utilize that, right? It's not going to do very much damage, so. Radiclink says, yeah, my polls were super lucky for Sumi. Didn't lose a 50-50 and got 3 copies of Sumi in the 20 to 30 pity range. It was kind of nuts. Yeah, that is kind of nuts. This is like the winner's circle right now. Everybody's getting 5 stars and talking about their amazing polls. Oh, sorry. Except for Wooly. Wooly's like, yeah, I lost every single 50-50, mostly to Parithia. She's already segment 3. Oof. I mean, what does her segments even do? I don't think they're that crazy. Let's look real quick. I know people who are like wanting to watch me gamble are just like, stop getting distracted. Cleanse to increase to 2. That's nothing special. This is actually really good. Domain suppression. This is the ability that pulls everyone in, and this is This is a really good ability. I would argue this is her strongest ability. Her ult is actually really janky to use. It's nice because it can hit so many targets, but it's also really hard to position correctly for, and like still be in cover. But this ability is her best by far, because if the enemies are not immune to displacement, this is just so huge, because you just like, you can rip multiple enemies out of cover and just ruin their day. And what's her third segment do? This is okay. It's a nice damage buff, but it's, like I said, nothing crazy. The problem with this ability is, which segment is it that makes it this one? So you need to get to this segment before it's finally not like really annoying to try and aim. Yeah, because trying to get it so that everybody is in this little 2-tiled band all the way around her, but also making sure she's like, it's just really annoying, you know. And you end up always in these situations where, like, let's say there's 3 enemies, like maybe like one here in this corner, one here in this corner, and then one like kind of next to you. It's like no matter what you do, you're gonna miss one of them, and it feels real bad. And then obviously the other half of that is because it forces you to stand in certain spots. Sometimes you are like, do I want to stand in the bad fire spot, or do I want to like step out from cover to do this? So like this is kind of a big one for her, is being able to just have a much greater AoE range with it. So that's just my humble opinion. So I'm gonna gamble while I read some more of this gentleman talking in chat here. Is Tolol good? I was thinking of getting her in the selector thing if you have Changju already. Yes, absolutely. So I've been using Tolol, this segment 0, without... I think I'm actually using Heartseeker on her. But she actually does a lot of damage, right? She's kind of a sleeper unit right now. Right now, she's kind of in this awkward, like... She has the potential to do crazy damage because of her extra turns, but like the way her skills line up with cooldowns, she always has like these awkward turns where she's like at 4 confectants about to get her bonus turn, but she can't generate it because both of her skills are on cooldown and only her ult is up. That gets fixed way later with Springfield. Had a mind blank there on the name. On Springfield, when she gets released. You know, this another side tangent. Why do they keep doing this? Why do they keep keeping characters like Springfield with their name from GFL1 based after the weapon, but then there's all these other characters that they're just like, nah, fuck it, give them a whole new name. Like Sabrina is Sabrina now. I mean, I know that's a GFL1 name, but still, you know, like a lot of characters, it's like, you know, for example, KSVK, you know, now she's well, I guess that's another bad example because technically in the story that's what she was called too, but you get my point. They keep doing that. But anyway, Springfield comes around and makes Tolol like just crazy because you get extra turns like all over the place. So definitely get a Tolol if you don't have one already. Even right now, without Springfield and the rest of the like teammates that go well with her, Sabrina being the other good teammate that goes well with her because she can implant water weakness, Tolol actually still like puts out a lot of damage. Like her attacks just hit really hard. She's nothing too fancy, and she doesn't have support attacks, which is kind of like, that's kind of sad, but her skills 2, 3, and her ult especially, just, they kind of hit like a truck. Yeah, Jay's kind of echoing the same thing I was saying about Tolol. 1 copy of Tolol is good to have. Yeah, the opinion I keep getting thrown around is get 1 copy of Changju and Tolol, and then go for segment 3 Changju afterwards. I mean, that's fine, right, if you're really into meta, but like I said, that's really only if you're going to do the burn team, and to be honest, the burn team doesn't kind of pop off until Vector, so like, who knows how long that could be. It might be next week, it might be next Christmas, right, with the way they're doing the banners. They're kind of just going all over the place with them, so who knows. Yeah, Peritia is definitely a character that pairs well with Kurokai. Well, good luck, Wool, on your bad luck, good luck to get your segment 4 Peritia. That's true. Springfield does sound like an actual name. I think that might be the last Sharkberry dupe I need too. I'm not sure about that. I'm probably never gonna need. This is another unit. Latira is another unit that pairs really well with Peritia. Like all of her skills are AoE, and then even her. This is kind of unusual. Even her follow-up attack is AoE. Right at the end of the action, deal AoE physical to 30%. Like it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it'll proc Peritia's support attack again. So they pair real well together. It's just that neither one of those units do a ton of damage by themselves. So and you're still always limited by, like, you know, everybody has to be in like a 2x2 of each other. Yeah, Jay's saying that Chongju's segment 3 is for enabler and Sharkery because it applies overburn. Yeah, totally. It's just, I said, if you really are into that and into that team, for sure, it's a it's the way to go. It's just like, I'm not too crazy about Sharkery. I mean, I know she's good. I don't really care about the character. Alrighty, here we go. Now here's the question: since I lost the last, I quote, lost it to the weapon, does this guarantee it for a Peritia, or are we another 50-50 here? I don't actually know. I think it guarantees it. I think that's kind of the idea here. We're gonna find out. Oh yes, another nemesis. I think we're almost there now. Oh yeah, dude, Wooly, I'm right there with you. My biggest disappointment on Springfield is her weird ass outfit. The top half is fine. I don't know what is going on with her pants in that outfit. Yep. I know. I'm not sure if this was guaranteed or not, so I don't know. I'm not sure to be excited or what. Hooray! We got all of the characters from the standard pool now. I said my count is unbricked now after 2 months of playing. We finally play the game. Would I say that Segment 0 Tolol does more damage than V6 Sharkery with a burn team? No. I do not think so. Not at all. I'm pretty sure. I haven't run the numbers or really looked at this team too deeply, but I'm almost positive that team out DPSs a Segment 0 Tolol by a good margin. Now, the counterpoint to that is if you have Tolol and in the Springfield team, those are pretty close, I think. I want to say Tolol, especially at, is it Segment 2? Which one changes her ability to Hydro? Yes, this one. Yes. So a Segment 2 Tolol on a Springfield team with like Sabrina, that is, I want to say, equal or better than a burn team. So you have like different paths, right? Like if you really like Tolol and you want to kind of make a Hydro team around her, you definitely can. You're just kind of always going to be at the mercy of how long before they release Springfield. So because Chongju doesn't really need a team. Like right now, even just her alone are really good. Like if you were just to take Chongju and Tololo right now in the game with no crazy supporting teams, I think Chongju still just out DPS's Tololo by, ooh, it's hard to give a number, but I would say about 20, maybe 30%, especially if you can like proc her attacks every turn, like on the frontline boss, for example, where you can just plop down and always hit the target because it doesn't move. That being said, when both of those units get their full like accoutrement, they become very similar in damage output for the whole team, right? And like I said, it's really hard to quantify these things because numbers don't tell the whole story. Like for Gunsmoke Frontline, this is kind of what the game's turned into, because Gunsmoke Frontline is the only like quote hard content, and it turns they're essentially striking dummies, right? The boss does very little damage. There's almost like no movement in the fight. It's very just much smacking a target dummy and how much damage you can put out. So people really overrate damage output versus utility for a lot of teams, and until that changes, I think that's just going to be how the game is for a while, which is fine, because the alternate to that is they start putting a lot of content in that requires I don't know, units like Sumi that have like, you know, lots of different utility, right? She can remove debuffs, she can implant weaknesses, she can add shields, she can heal if needed. And so if you start putting in content that requires a lot of characters like that, then it kind of is the opposite problem, right? Then people don't value damage characters as much, and it's real messy. And then the game's overall difficulty increases, which, you know, that's a debate for a different time, whether the game should have more just casual fun content where it's just like, you know, take the characters you like and use them, or if the game should focus on like a very hardcore meta, which I'm not sure if that's the way to go. Should I go crazy, guys? Should I switch to a weapon for the 5-star selector? I could use another weapon. Let's see, actually, hold up. How many redundant pieces do I have? Oh, almost enough for a weapon. That's good, because I do need another assault rifle coming up here. That's why I was really excited about the shotgun, because the two weapons I desperately need right now are shotguns and assault rifles. So I got a shotgun. That's really sick. I think we're going to keep it on Chongju just because I have a segment 2 Vepli already. I don't want to just do what everybody else is saying. Like I want to be like a counterculture hipster. And I want to like come up with a good reason why I shouldn't just do what everybody else is doing, because, you know, I'm a special snowflake like that. But she's just really good. She's really good, and I actually like her a lot. She's cool design, and it's just something satisfying about seeing her do like 6 follow-up attacks in a turn and just shredding somebody. That's a lot of fun. So yeah, we're gonna put it to Chongju. And then I always got my little selector here. This never goes away, so I can always just use this in emergency if I want to. So let's continue pulling here. Alrighty. Yeah, well, it was saying it would have been better if Sumi wasn't our launch unit, because she trivialized so much content and made Cheetah cell phone and Ksenia, I love that cell phone, Ksenia appear less valuable. Yeah, she really did. I was like lurking the help channel the other day, and I saw somebody asking for help with team compositions for the weekly boss where you need like 2 separate teams. And they kept saying their second team was dying, and like they showed their screenshots of characters, and it was like, well, yeah, because they had Sumi for their first team, which obviously kept that first team alive, but they had nobody to heal for the second team because they didn't build Cheetah or Colfane. It's like, well, I don't know, man. Like, what do you expect? But yeah, Sumi did trivialize a lot of stuff. I remember in the closed beta, I was doing some of the content, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty fairly balanced, especially if you're doing it like underleveled or undergeared. But then Sumi came out, and like I got her relatively quick, and I realized how much she trivialized all the events and all the content. Another Groza, which we are. I think I'm max on Grozas, so. But yeah, Sumi. Like that's the thing, right? The game since day one, even on its Chinese release, has had. It's been being pulled in two directions. Half the player base is like, this content's too hard, please make it easier. And the other half of the, well, I don't know if it's even half, like maybe 10% of the player base is like, this game is baby mode easy, please give us challenging content. And I don't know if they're ever gonna come to a nice happy medium unless they just literally develop like two game modes completely, like, you know, normal casual mode and then more like hardcore strategy mode. And that's gonna, I think it would require a decent amount of dev time, and I don't know if they have that kind of resources. Getting a lot of Nagants today. Oh yeah, that's right, because she's, oh, this is the standard banner. This is not, yeah, I'm just getting a lot of Nagants. Yeah, I remember when the CN launch was fresh out the oven, they were complaining that it was too difficult, and they nerfed a bunch of stuff, and they like changed around the starter rewards to make it a little easier on players. And now you got people complaining about the opposite, right? They're like, oh my gosh, only Gunsmoke Frontline is a quote only difficult content. And to be honest, I don't want to bring up other games, but I see this just recently for those of you who play Hong Kong Star Rail. This has been a thing I just saw recently. In their game, the devs posted they just had like a big new area that got released. Bunch of new content, like a whole new storyline, blah, 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 blah. And they made, really? Double Rosa? They released a big developer blog post after getting player feedback for the new area. And they're like, hey, we know everything was too difficult, so we're gonna, like, the puzzles, like, we're not even talking like gameplay, like, they're like, because they had all like these like Legend of Zelda style puzzles where you like go in a room and like, you know, mess with the objects and like, you know, solve the puzzle. And they actually said they're just gonna make the puzzles skippable, and they're just gonna take all the puzzles out of the game. And I'm like, isn't that literally the game, right? Like I get it, the game's is the combat, really, but it's like have we really hit a point where people don't want to play the game? Like, I don't know, it's just really mind-boggling. And it's like that in this game too, right? You got people who you know, they complain that the stories and the challenge modes are not difficult enough, which is, be fair, right? I don't know if anybody was here last week, but I did the challenge mode for this. Can I even look at it? No, I can't. I did the challenge mode for this, and I killed the boss in like 2 rounds, right? And I don't even consider myself like having really jacked characters, right? Like Macchiato was hitting the boss for like 1/3 of her health, and you know, my Macchiato's nothing special, no segments, just the weapon. So yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be like an eternal struggle of, you know, what's too difficult, what's too casual. I don't know, my opinion is like, you got to have some content that's a little more, and I'm gonna be able to totally max her out now. Thank you, Jesus. We can finally hit that big 10k CE score for flexing purposes. At least I think we can. But you need to have some difficult content to keep players engaged, and especially the players that like to really like min-max. Do we hit 10k? Yeah, let's go, boys. 10k Nemesis. So you gotta have some difficult, because the people who tend to min-max are also the people who tend to make guides, content videos, you know, just kind of keep the community alive. They tend to be the guys in the help channel answering player questions and stuff. And if they all dry up, then it becomes a really stagnant community, and it's not nearly as much fun. So it's definitely good to keep those people engaged and having fun. The counterpoint to that is the casual community is actually like the lifeblood of most gacha communities. And if you make it too difficult for the casuals to have fun, or like it becomes stressful for them, they're just going to go to more casual style gacha games. And then you're just going to have a bunch of... This happened in MMOs. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember, but for, you know, way back in the day, like one of the big breakouts obviously was World of Warcraft. And then after that, it was like this kind of period of like, you know, that game was just king. And I want to say in the early 2010s, there was a game called WildStar. And WildStar's whole pitch was, hey, do you guys remember those hardcore WoW raids from way back in the day that were like, you know, super, super hard and like required tons of players? About, we're bringing that back. And that was like their whole selling point, was that, hey, WoW's raiding got more casual, come back to try our MMO, and we're going to make it super hardcore. That game flopped hard for a couple reasons, but one of the big reasons was it was too hardcore, right? Like they made this like whole raid scene that was supposed to be super difficult, and okay, cool, you had like 1%, maybe less, of the player base playing it, and everybody else was just like, I can't do this, or I don't want to. So it turned into like this really empty, barren game, and then of course it died after that. And that's been a problem for... Oh, I lied. I guess I had one more segment to go on, Rosa. That's become a problem for a lot of games that are trying to strike a balance between difficult and casual. And gacha games need to kind of lean towards the casual, because the gacha community is really casual compared to other games, like really, really casual. So, but yeah, you also got to have, because, oh yeah, Wooly says it here, right? Some gacha players spend crazy money to be challenged, so it's an inherent design conflict. You are 100% right. And the funny thing about it too is, you would think that if you spend $3,000 to max out a character, you would like, you're committed to that game for life, but you're not. I have seen on, not maybe on this game, I might have cleared them off. Oh, I'm not gonna shame them on stream, but I have people on the friends list that have like, I want to say a segment 6 Sumi, and like I noticed they haven't logged in 90 days or like 60 days, like since December. And in Hong Kong, it's the same thing. I have some guys on my friend list that were like playing when the game came out, and they maxed out some of the characters in that game, which is thousands of dollars. There's just no way you accumulate that many tickets naturally. So they spent thousands of dollars in their character, and they haven't logged into the game in a year, which just to me says they quit, right? So I don't know how you would, like, to me, if I spent like $3,000 on a game, I would be locked in whether I hated it or not, but that's just me. There we go, there's a fortification. All right, well, I'm maxed out for Sharkery too. Burn team, here we come, guys, burn team. Oh, fortification here. Fortifications everywhere. I got, wow, I'm maxing out a lot of characters today. Yeah, that's the thing. Gachas are always going to have that fundamental like back and forth tug of war between do you make a game to exploit your player base's wallets, or do you make a game that's like just fun? And some games try to do both. Some games are clearly more worried about sucking the money out of their player base. I mean, I know that's why games like, well, pretty much anything made by Hoyoverse gets shit on by a lot of the people who don't like it, because they blame them, and to be, I mean, they're kind of fair in their criticism. They blame Hoyoverse for this gambling system we currently have, right? The 50% drop rate and the, what is it, 0.6? Yeah, 0.6% chance normal. A lot of people don't like that, and I can understand. I've played with it long enough to now actually kind of enjoy it, right? Like, because, you know, there's a lot of other different ways you can do gacha systems, but I've kind of become maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome, right? Maybe I've just been playing Hong Kong now for 2 years, and I've just gotten used to the system, and I just, you know, like I got Stockholm Syndrome, and I just now sympathize with them. But they've now standardized it, right? Like, it's in this game, it's in a lot of other games, and the gacha community, or the gacha game development community, just kind of all has like moved to this same 50-50 system, blah blah blah. So, you know, that doesn't sit well with a lot of people. And who do we level first? Well, I guess this is the character. Do I have enough? I stockpiled a lot of these. I think it's 600,000, so yeah, we can do Deshevia and Changju. Okay. So yeah, a lot of people are mad because like companies like Hoyoverse have kind of perfected the way to like suck the money out of your wallet. Like I said, the idea of spending $3,000 on a character is kind of wild, you know, if you really want to max that character out. But hey, that's the world we live in. You don't have to, but that FOMO, man, it's a powerful drug. Why does she have a crossbow? What's that all about? Yeah, Wooly says, I think Punishing Gray Raven and ZZZ, Zenless Zone Zero, managed to find its core challenge-loving audience, but they are outliers. Yeah, they're definitely not as big as Honkai Star Rail, which is fine, right? Like, not every game has to be the biggest game, because that also requires, like, you know, you also having the biggest company and the biggest game development team. And, you know, we wouldn't have cool games like this one, where you get, like, very niche. Like for example, anime girls with guns is pretty niche. Like, I'm actually really surprised this game is getting as much traction as it is. But as far as... Ooh, we gotta craft a whole bunch of these. But as far as... Can I make 12? No, I think we're just gonna have to go to the mines here for a minute. Which is good, because I saved up my resources, because I had a feeling this might happen. Let's do 5. Let's see how that goes. One stock bar. That's enough for her. We'll come back and I'll reassess how many I have. Where did she go? There we go. I really hope, this is just me pure copium right now, I really hope they make a skin for her that's like a completely different design. I haven't really seen that on any characters yet, but it would be really cool to have a skin that really takes her back to kind of how her design was in GFL1. Hopefully they never return the Project Narrow Cloud design. That's just can stay in the trash bin, in my opinion, but especially if she's going to be handling guns. But yeah, so having niche games that have a more dedicated hardcore audience is great. But I don't want to talk for Punishing Gray Raven because I haven't really looked at that at all. But ZZZ seemed like it had enough casual content in it as well to attract and keep a lot of the casual players. And to be honest, I think part of the reason ZZZ does as well it does is just because it has the word Hoyoverse on it, and everyone who plays Genshin and Hong Kong Star Rail kind of naturally get it, right? It's like the same thing with like Blizzard games. Like the reason a lot of Blizzard games get traction in the first place is because it has their name on it, although Blizzard's name these days doesn't mean much. Yeah, ZZ Wooly says ZZ is my first Hoyoverse game. Their cash shop is depressing, nearly $100 to guarantee a character. Yeah, they don't have a good exchange rate on their pulls. Like, that's the thing I could almost understand, like, because you need so many tickets to get a... I'm assuming ZZZ does, like, segments the same way that Honkai does it and this game does it, right? But, like, say you want to totally max out a character, you need so many tickets to totally max out a character's segments. Like, you'd think that they would just sell you bundles of tickets, right? Like, here's 100 tickets for $50, right? But that's not how it works. It's like, here's 100 tickets for $120. It's usually like a 1-to-1 ratio, like when it's quote on sale. Usually it's like $1 to 1 ticket, like American dollars. Which is that's a lot when you need, like, what? I think it's like on average you need 700 tickets, maybe 1,000 tickets to guarantee a segment 6 character. I don't remember the exact math on that, but it's a lot. You need a lot of freaking tickets. All right, so we need to 5 and 5 of both of those. Oops, not this. We want to go to this. Dorm room, craft items. How many? Ooh, I'm low. All right, we're gonna have to farm this. Yep, there's just no way around it. I could convert a couple. Oops. This one. No, this is just a bad exchange rate. Don't do what I was about to do there unless you have just tons of the low tier ones. We'll just farm some. Don't worry, I won't let the power, or I won't let the fact that I have no intel stop us tonight. Because we have the power of access keys. We'll do 3. This should be more than enough. Five, and yeah, okay, we're good now. Radiclink is asking, he says he plays Genshin, so he's familiar with the current system that's in, like, this game. But how do other gacha games do this system? So in GFL1, the way they did the gacha system was it had nothing to do with, like, premium currencies, right? Like tickets. Like, essentially in GFL1, you would take the equivalent of, like, what would be combat reports and stuff in this game, like these types of things. You would use things like that to gamble to get your units. None of it really cost money. It was all stuff you could farm in game, and it was just like how much you would get over time, right? You could buy it from the cash shop, but it wasn't like its own separate resource that could only be used for the gacha system here. It was just something that you could farm through logistical missions and through, like, playing the game. That was like the big, that was fine, but that also was like 2016, so that's almost a decade old, that system. And almost every gacha game in existence has moved away from a system like that, where it's like purely free to play, like resources that you use to gamble with. Now it's all, there's like a premium currency. And even in Project NeuroCloud, which is another one of Mika's games, the way they did it in that was that to hard pity a character, it's like, let's say you just had the worst luck possible, you'd have to get 180 tickets, but every 60 you were guaranteed a 5-star, or in that game it was 3 stars, but you would guarantee a 5-star at 60. So essentially what it would do is but none of the characters were like, if you lose you get it on the next one. So you would, let's say you had the worst luck possible, you would roll 60 times, then you would guarantee a 3-star or 5-star out of the pool of whatever. There's like 5 or 6 of them. Well, actually, no, it was more than that. There's like 8 of them in the pool. But the one that was on the banner had like, you know, it was 3 times more likely than the others. So you'd lose that one, then you'd go all the way to 120. You'd lose that one, and you'd go to 180. If you lost that one, then you could just hit a button to trade in for the character. The problem with that system is there was no carryover. So if you went 150 in, and let's say you finally got the character, or let's say you only had 150 tickets worth of stuff, and you didn't get the character, and you were short of getting to that 180 hard pity point, you're just shit out of luck for the next character. The next banner would start, and you'd be back to 0, and it's back to 60 is the quote soft pity, and then 180 is the hard pity because there's no carryover. So what ended up happening in that game was that essentially you just didn't roll on a character. If you really wanted a character, you just didn't roll on somebody unless you had 180 tickets stored up, which was, it's not great. You know, that feels bad. What was I doing? I was leveling things. What does it want me to unlock here? Oh, new skins. Won't be using these skins, and I don't think I know I'm not gonna roll on the weapon, the signature weapon, or the custom weapon. Now this I am excited for. Boom. Can we switch all the attachments? I don't trust this quick. Let's try it. Let's try it. It failed me. Yeah, that's wrong. This is just... Oh, you know what? I bet you because I already have it equipped on another weapon, it's not going to... How do I just remove all? There we go. It won't use a weapon, or it won't use attachments that are on another weapon. That's why it won't work. We're just going to take them all off that weapon and put them to this weapon. Wooly says, credit where credit is due. Jiggle physics aside, ZZZ has immaculate character design and movement. I will just take your word on that. None of the character designs in that game appealed to me personally, and the gameplay itself never really caught my attention, so I'm like, this is definitely just not a game for me. So I'll just take your word that the jiggle physics and the character design is really good. What the hell is this? How is my Vapley still not 10,000 CE? What's going on here? I give you the weapons, you're still not satisfied. Did I unlock this? No, I still need to unlock all this, which is probably why she's not 10k. Because this is I'm missing 10% stats. And a key. Whoa, wait a minute, what was that? Oh, we get a sneak peek. So this is supposed to be I forget what they're called, neural upgrade keys or whatever, but these are going to be like the keys that they use later on to buff certain units that have inherent design mistakes. That's the best way I can put it. Tololol gets one. I know we were talking about her earlier. She gets one of these, and I can't remember what it does off the top of my head, but I want to say it gives her extra confectance when something happens, either when she uses a specific ability or something. But these are going to be cool when they add them to the game. So I see that they're lurking. They're not added in just yet. I wonder if you can even preview them. Who else? So can we even preview them? Because I don't know if Vapley actually has one. No, okay. So can't see him just yet. Wow, okay, so... I do need another sniper rifle, though, total. Because now I have 4 snipers. I need to get a Samosuck. But I also need to get assault rifle. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have enough here from the store here. Trading post, integration, I do. So I do need to make a decision here on what I want to get. I think we're going for Planeta. Because I need another assault rifle pretty badly. And as much as I don't want to, I don't see a situation where I ever use like 3 snipers at the same time, so I could just shove the weapons around between them. Let me think about that for a moment here. Have you been saving the upgrade chips for the attachments, or have you been using them? So I assume you're talking about the calibration chips or whatever these are called. These things here. I assume you're talking about these, and the answer is kind of. So one of these weapons, I think you can see it because it, here we go. This one, it marks it, oddly enough. Like, see these little symbols next to it? I think these mean that you use a chip when you were trying to calibrate it. I've had varying luck with that. So I know there's people that were saying that these are kind of a scam because mathematically it's just better just to reroll. Honestly, like, because what happens is, let's find a piece of equipment here that I need to upgrade. We're going to need to do upgrades for assault rifles because I got another assault rifle character. So let's find a attachment I can show this out on. Preferably one that doesn't suck. I'm looking for one with 3 stats. Which, can you filter this now? Kind of. Oh. Maybe? Ooh. It does work. So they did. Dude, this patch has been full of so many quality of life features. And this is one of them. Now I can filter by what attachments. So let's see if I can find one. This one's pretty solid. I'm wondering to see if I have one that's quote a god piece, but I'm pretty sure I would have remembered if I would have gotten a god piece. It would definitely be one of these locked ones. Yeah, okay, so it's between this one and this one. This one overall is a little better. Okay, so let's do it on this. So normally if you calibrate it, it's just, what is it, 20,000? Yeah, it's 20,000. Now, if you add a bunch of these chips, so for each chip you add, we'll just add one for now, right? One of these stats is going to get boosted, right? But you can see it increases the cost by 8,000. So if we want to really give us the best chance, we've more than doubled the cost of calibrating this piece of equipment. This is like 2.5 times the cost now. And what it's going to do is that all 4 of these attributes, that when they roll their randomization, it will at minimum be 100. So people are saying it's fine to do this on the first time. Like, we'll do it here just for fun, on stream. Normally I would only do this on a piece of gear that's like, see, like I said, these are rare, so I kind of don't want to waste these. Let's try a different attachment, one that attack, and crit. Do I have any of these? Hydro. Did I not just say attack, boost, and crit? Why is it showing me defense? Okay, maybe this feature doesn't work as well as I thought it would, but do I have one to try this out on? I know I'm blue ballsing you guys. You guys are like, just fucking show me. But these are kind of annoying to get, and I kind of don't want to waste them, despite the fact that everyone says that they are not a good usage of money. Okay, well, we're just going to do this Hydro one because I might use this one day for somebody. So it increases the cost by a lot, right? More than doubles it. Now, what happens is when we roll these, all three of these stats would get just a total. Normally, it would just be a completely, totally normal random value, right? Anywhere from 100% or anywhere from like plus 50% to plus 200%. And what these chips do is they make it so that the lowest it can go is 100. So for these two, for crit rate and attack boost here, I probably rolled less than 100 on the randomization number. So like attack boost here probably was like whatever, plus 60%. Well, it just boosted it up to 100% just to kind of give me a minimum amount that it'll increase it. So, but the problem is this doesn't actually guarantee better chances, right? So if I was to just, so these are good, right? 150%, 100 and 100. If we go back to it, calibrate it. If I just calibrate it like normal, I could get even better than that, right? I didn't, so they dropped down, but this one went up, which actually I think is a net gain, 50% minus 30 and minus 40. It's pretty close to a net gain, although I'd prefer it was on attack, so I'm going to restore it. But the point is, you don't actually guarantee like continuous upgrades, right? Like if I was to keep using these every single time, all it's ever going to do is make sure that these numbers never go below 100%. So like I'll never roll less than 7% crit and 6.8% attack boost, but it won't guarantee that if I just keep using like for example in GFL1, as you continuously calibrate an equipment, it's always going to slowly over time get better. It'll never like force it to lose stats. This one could technically lose. It won't lose stats, but it could sit at 100% the whole time. So you've essentially have like more than doubled the cost of calibrating equipment, but you haven't increased your chances of getting like multiple high stats, like multiple 150s and 200% rolls. So people are saying, well, just keep calibrating like normal and then just quote, get lucky, bro. And then just get like 100%, 100%, and 100, or like, 150, 180, 150, right? This is a bad roll. You don't want to keep this. That's kind of what people are saying. We'll do a couple more. I want to see if I can illustrate this point a little better. I know I'm not really explaining this very well. Yeah, this was a horrible roll. But people were saying you just keep calibrating until something good happens. Like this is a good example, right? Like this one went down a teeny tiny bit. This is a perfect example because in this situation, if I would have used 3 calibration chips, which are A, rare, and B, would have made the cost of this calibration way more than double, they would have had 0 effect on what just happened here because this one didn't. The first one attack did not go below 100%. The second one stayed exactly the same at 100%, and the third one went up. So I would have more than doubled the cost of calibrating this piece of equipment, but I would have got 0 bonus from it, no gain at all. So that's kind of why people are saying they're kind of a trap. I don't know if I completely agree with them because, sometimes you do want to not have to gamble as hard, if that makes sense, right? Like being able to guarantee that because like sometimes you want 1 or 2 to be like, for example, in this one that I just did, if that crit rate would have went down to like plus 50, that would have been real sad because I would have had 2 amazing stats and 1 really crappy one. As opposed to if I used calibration chips, yeah, it would have been way more expensive to do that, but I would have had 2 amazing stats and guaranteed that the other one was like not rock bottom. So it's kind of a trade-off. Yeah, don't really have a good explanation. So there's people, I saw somebody who wrote a big long essay on it on the forums. I don't agree with everything he said, but in the Discord, in the main GFL2 Discord, in the what section was it? I think it was under just general guides, I want to say. He wrote a big long explanation of it. I said I didn't agree with everything he said, but he had some good points in there. Okay, so that was a lot of words and a lot of talking. Now I've totally lost my train of thought. Oh my god, we're an hour and 15 minutes in. I haven't even played the game. I've just been gambling and talking. See, this is what I was saying at the beginning of the stream, dude. I can just yap for hours, dude. Someone needs to shut me up. Wow, okay. I won't bore you guys with specifics of that anymore. Was there anything else I needed to do on stream today? I have to do these supply missions, but they're low level enough that I don't think it's worth showing, because I'm just going to kill everything in one hit. Anything else I have? You know what? Here, what we're going to do is I'm going to do these supply missions on auto battle, or like, you know, game auto battle, and I'm just gonna chat with you guys here for a few minutes while we close out the stream. Who we got? Tolo. Want to swap Vepli for Macchiato. I want Macchiato to be on that spot. Oh, I don't know how she's gonna get up there. Whatever. AI, you figure it out. These are level 30 enemies. I'm thinking this. Yeah, well, this calibration is ridiculous. RNG layered over itself. Yeah, it's rough, but I understand why they do it, because it gives people something to do long term, right? Like like I was saying before about like kind of like the min-max players versus the casual players. This gives the min-max players something to put as like a goal, and it keeps them occupied. Because it is fun to like totally max out your favorite character, like, you know, and flex on other people. It's not necessarily needed though. As long as, like I said, as long as the content never gets to the point where you know, unless you have like characters with like certain crit ratios and stat thresholds you can't clear, I don't have a problem with it. I have seen games though where it's like they kind of like hard block you because they just assume you have certain stats on units, and then you just show up and it's a disaster. So yeah, today we had some crazy luck in pulls. Got Deshevia, we got some Chongju, we got Paritia. I got a lot of characters I got to build off stream. I was getting so distracted, talking and shooting the shit. Are any of you guys buying? All right, this is kind of a loaded question, right? Because I'm gonna out some people with this one. But is anyone buying these new skins that they're putting in the shop, like the Sabrina summertime bikini skin and the what's the other one that's in the cheetah racing skin? Like, I have a feeling that they're very popular with some people, but I also have a feeling the GFL community probably isn't as wild about them. Like, my this is just my biased perception. I feel like the GFL community mostly is people who like anime and guns, right? Like, that's obviously what they're going for. So the traditional like kind of like lewd like bikini skins, like is that really what, and is that really what people are into? Like, I don't know, because they keep doing it, right? Like the newest skins in CN, even the newest character, I keep forgetting her name. The new shotgun character. Type 90, Captain China, Type 97S, whatever her designation was in GFL1. People are like, let's just say they took a note out of ZZZ's book with her design, and there are some really big jiggle physics on that character. And it's almost like distracting, right? Like, I don't want to sound prude, but like it's almost a little too much in my opinion. Yeah, see, this is kind of what I expected. I'd say maybe this is just biased because I'm not like the people who are watching the stream right now are probably people more interested in the GFL franchise than just gacha games in general, right? Like maybe if you went on like some big gacha game YouTuber's stream, like maybe his community would all be about like, you know, just, you know, skimpy outfits, but yes, Wooly, thank you. He says, give me Sabrina in a SWAT raid gear and I'll pay. Yes, 100% agree with you. I don't care about her going to the beach and throwing watermelons around, right? I want a tacked out Sabrina, like, you know, Ready or Not fucking style. That's just me. That's just my 2 cents. I'm like, when I saw Kurkai's 416, HK 416, Kurukai, I don't know how they're pronouncing it now. They keep changing the pronunciation and the spelling. So Kurkai's normal skin, I'm like, it's okay. It's, you know, kind of like a weird mix of like casual hoodie and baseball hat plus you know, tactical. I'm like, whatever. And then they had like her racing skin that they were giving everyone for free, and I'm like, ew, what is this thing? I'm like, this is like some weird like cyberpunk like stripper gear. But then they showed off her tactical outfit that you pay for, and I'm like, this is for me, right? Like you guys made this for me. So I'm super excited about that. All the tactical skins they've been doing are really awesome when they actually do them, but they're just kind of few and far between. And like even some of the like original character designs, like Sumi's is kind of a good example. It's can I do it? It's kind of like a weird hybrid. It's like not really tactical, right? But she's, you know, she's got all like the gadgets and shit hanging off of her. Macchiato's is like, it's not really tactical, but it's kind of like, you know, that professional like secret agent style look. So it's like some of the like base designs are fine, and I like what they're doing with a lot of those. But a lot of the skins, I wish they would just release more tactical skins because some of them are really cool. That was just my little tangent about that. I was just wondering if I'm like all alone. Like I'm like, am I the only one that wants tactical skins? Like, because it seems like it. They keep releasing more and more. Like even Springfield, right? They had a very questionable original design for her normal design, right? Still have no idea what those are. What's going on with her pants in that. Her skirt or whatever, her utility belt, whatever that is hanging off of the midsection of her design. And then I'm like, oh, that's fine. They'll just do another like more tactical, maybe like World War I or World War II-esque inspired outfit. And then they just did like the, you know, the ballroom dress, and I'm like, oh, I'm like that's not what I wanted. Hell yeah, auto battle. You do this for me so I can sip up my drink here. Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping they're going to do more tactical outfits in the future, and even more default outfits. Like, I like Vector's default design. They did a really cool design with hers. I really like her, like, tactical jacket. I'm not really sure what it is, but really cool. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. If they have to release a couple ballroom dresses and bikini outfits to fund the development of cool outfits, I'm okay with that. Can I auto battle this? You think I could auto battle this? I mean, it's a boss, right? Like, you'd think I gotta do something. But I'm pretty sure we just hit this auto battle button. So yeah, after we finish this one, I'm probably gonna end the stream tonight. I don't want to bore you guys with me leveling characters anymore, and man, there was something I really wanted to show off and talk about, but I've totally forgotten what it was. I'm gonna have to write this stuff down for next stream. we'll try and do a first impressions slash, I don't know, like demo video of Deshevia for anyone who's like not sure if they want to get her or not. I will try and post that in the next day or two. I'm not too busy over the next couple days, so that'll be great. Oh, this is cool. This boss has like different body parts you need to attack. That's interesting. Kind of like that. But yeah, so I'll try and post that, and then maybe I'll try and do a 5-minute guide. They've been getting good traction. I think the last one's up to like 800 views or something like that. So they're kind of cool. I mean, I know I'm regurgitating a lot of information, and there's a lot of people fighting over, like, there's a lot of like guide makers out there, like all essentially saying the same thing. So I feel like I'm kind of just puppeting what a lot of other people are saying, but at the same time, I kind of want to continue to make these guides so that A, I have most of the characters covered, and B, I'm gonna be honest, I have a feeling some of these other guide makers are gonna kind of disappear once the newest, shiniest game comes out. So, you know, I'm gonna be here for a long time. Like, I've been waiting for this game. I was waiting for this game for multiple years. So I'm not going anywhere. So I figure I will continue to make guides, even if other people go switch to whatever the newest, shiniest gacha game is that has the most views. So, but I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna sit in my old man chair. What am I doing here? Look at this. Come on. Got new characters. I didn't even switch the background. Where is it? There we go. There we go. Now we're themed up. So I'm gonna sit here in my old man chair, and I'm gonna prankily say things like, back in GFL1, her name was KSVK, and she had wolf ears instead of hair flaps or hair wings. Yeah, I'm not gonna comment on that rattling, but yes, I have a feeling that a lot of the content creators are gonna jump over to whatever that being the next big one that I'm aware of. I have no interest in that game or its IP, so that won't be a conflict of interest for me. Anyway, I'm gonna try and get those guides out in the next couple days. The mega guide, I don't know if I'm gonna do I might do a mega guide. I had fun making the last one. I don't know if you guys saw it. I did post it. If any of you haven't seen it, I posted the mega guide for Diane on the channel here last Sunday or something. So check that out. You can skip through it if you don't want to watch all of it. Like, some of the information is kind of regurgitated from the first one, right? But I just explained in long form the thought process behind like why certain keys are good or like what stats you need. So, but I had fun making it. I did like a little like cool. I was messing around with like all the video editing stuff, like transitions and like, you know, layering videos over each other for presentation purposes. So I had a lot of fun. So I'm gonna maybe do that again. But until then, we're gonna end the stream here because we're almost at the 1 minute or oh my gosh, the 1 hour and 30 minutes mark. I had a great time hanging out with you guys. Thank you all for bringing me amazing luck on the 50/50s and the raid up. I still have just a massive stockpile of collapse pieces. I don't know why it takes me to this screen. I just want to see how many I got. So I have multiple hundreds of tickets left over, all saved up for UMP9, which I'm sure will be the next character. Where's my copium? Oh yeah, there's my copium. Yeah, UMP9. Definitely that's the next character. I appreciate it. Yep. Anyway, until that, we're gonna call it here. Guys, you have a great one. If you have any questions or like I said, here, let me flash my ID here. If you guys want to add me in game or whatever, that's my UID. So if not, I will catch you guys next week. Oh, February 14th is the next one. That's Valentine's Day. Well, we'll make that work. I'm not going to cancel this for Valentine's Day. We're going to have a special Valentine's episode. I don't know what the Valentine's episode is going to be, but we're going to do something special for it. So look forward to that. And all of those of you who have plans, you can catch it on the pod. So yeah, Centurisi next. Maybe. Most likely it's either her or UMP9. I'm just going to keep copium, and I'm just going to keep hoping that it's UMP9. So anyway, with that, everybody, you guys have a good one. I will catch you next week.